Bang, bang, Niner gang. Hey, wait, that's the wrong channel. Welcome back to Really Toco Podcast. If you haven't done it already, please hit that like and subscribe button and share with all your family and friends. All right, so the trifecta is in. Donald Trump won the White House, and he is also influenced a lot of people. What do I mean by that? Well, he's also got people to win down ballot. They won the Senate. They won the. Right now, they're leading and they're going to get the majority in the House. So, um, time out. Go ahead, bring it over. Thank you. It's my good assistant right there, Rod Wavy Train. Rod Wavy Train. So he did it, man. He's just a reaction to what he has done, and can't wait till he becomes or actually get into the White House. Now he also today already picked his chief of staff, which is cool. He picked his chief of staff, and I would pick somebody that ran the campaign, his campaign manager, and she really did a really good job because you saw how well that he did. Um, so that being said, what I really want to see from his going into his second term, I want to see him be able to really do something great, do something better. And he's going to have the opportunity to do it because he will have the Senate and he will have the House. One of the first things that he's going to need to do is actually be able to get the Keystone Pipeline back on. First day of office, this is what he should do. Fire everybody in the DOJ, I'm talking about the head people. Fire everybody in the DOJ, Secret Service, every single one of them. So that way he can be able to do the things that he should have done his first term. The second thing is he should get that Keystone Pipeline back up, secure the border. The other thing that he needs to do right away is get rid of the FBI director. Period. Just need to do that. But really, he needs to be able to right now start getting those key people. Whoever he's got to vet, just got to do it. He's got to vet these people. It's like getting rid of the tares from the wheat, right? So you got to get rid of the people that is going to hinder you as a president again. So at this time, if we get the majority of the Senate, if we pick up some more, then he'll be able to do those things and be able to keep the House, where the House can go over and look into what happened in 2020 in that election, what happened there, the lawfare that happened against him. And then the Senate can be able to help him getting all the things that he needs to do from the get-go. All right. So he just needs to be able to do those things. So he's got he's got the presidency, he's got the White House, he's got the Senate, and overwhelmingly he's gonna get the House. So that's the trifecta, right? He's got all three, all for him. Trump has transformed the Republican Party and made it into what we see now. And a lot of people really wanted that. They really wanted what they voted for on Tuesday night. And then going forward, he's got the chief of staff. I really want to see how he incorporates Vivek Ramaswamy into this, what position he's going to have him in there. I think he can do multiple things. One thing that he could do is he could have Vivek doing the press corps, or Benny Johnson, or any one of these good people that you see, but have Vivek doing something. Maybe put Vivek as the head of the DOJ. What do you think about that? Put Vivek as the head of the DOJ. Well, that's just my way of thinking. Elon, of course, is going to be over being able to uh, making the government more efficient. And so once he gets all those things together, I think Donald Trump, the biggest thing that to unify the country, he's already doing that. He's already doing that because the majority of the people here in the United States voted for him. So he's uniting them. And the more that he becomes successful in taking away things or bringing things about his policies, one of the good things about his policy, one of the younger kids that voted for him from 18 to 21 or 24 are the kids that are the ones that work in um, in the food industry, in the hospitality industry. And when he said no tax on tips, that was a great move because a lot of the younger generation are just starting to work, and they're finding out, hey, if I don't get taxed on tips, maybe I can put some more of that into my um, savings for a family or getting a house or buying a car. And if he really implements the no tax on overtime, I mean, the people in the country voted for getting more money into their pockets and being able to spend it the way that they want to. I just a real story of a guy that I talked to about 12 years ago. He knew. I asked him about about what dentist would he go to because I was doing a swimming pool for a guy that was a dentist, and he was doing work for this dentist too. And I'm like, so do you go to this dentist or what? And he goes, no, I don't do any favors like that. I just get the money and I want to go to the dentist that I want to go to. So it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So you want to just take whatever the money that you get and be able to buy what you want. And that's exactly what he said. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So he wasn't trying to barter or anything. But one of the things that I think that is really cool about the whole situation that Trump won is that a lot of the younger generation see him as somebody that's a fighter, see him as somebody that won't give up. I mean, he's a billionaire. He doesn't have to do this. He didn't have to go back and try to get back into the White House, but he see all the things that the left, the media, big corporation, big pharma, all of them, combine them all together, and what they were trying to do to the country in whole, it was destroying the country. And a lot of people, they wanted somebody to come back. A lot of people thought DeSantis was going to be the one. Vivek even thought he was going to be one. There was a lot of people that thought they were going to be the guy, and Donald Trump he saw that, and he got back into it, and here we are. He won the electoral votes, and he also won the popular vote. And so here's another fascinating thing about the whole argument about Joe Biden winning in 2020. If he really won with 81 million votes, where are those 81 million votes for Kamala? What happened to them? Where did they go? And what's kind of odd, and if you look at the charts, everything that the spike of an anomaly that happened was in 2020, where it spiked up. and then now we're back to that same level from all the other years of voting, and and you saw that um, that a lot of people voted for Trump, but wherever were those votes? What happened to those votes that was for Biden? Because Trump actually he gained some more, but 81 million votes for somebody that was inside the basement. Where did those votes go? What happened to them? Did they just disappear, or people just didn't come out and wanted to vote? But what happened? Let me know what happened to those votes, those 81 million votes. And I always said it before in 2020 when they said that Joe Biden had 81 plus million votes, and I said, where did he get those votes from? How did he get those votes? And where are they now? So you can look at how the Harris campaign they lost. A lot of people is making all kind of excuses, blaming this person, blaming that person. It's not blaming anybody. The one thing that really irritates a lot of people in this country is when somebody takes the money from them if they cannot go to the grocery store or cannot pay for their rent. There was a veteran just I was just reading the other day. He's getting evicted. Him and his wife are getting evicted. $1,750 a month uh, for rent. They're getting evicted, and people were just like, "Hey, you should do this. You should try to ask your family and stuff like that." And he's like, "Well, my family and my friends that I know are in the same boat. They can't afford to help us. They say that they could if they would, but they can't afford to help us right now." These are veterans, and people are saying steering them towards the what you call that the VA, steering them to the VA to get that assistance, get that help. But there was it takes time to do all those things, and they had like here in the state of Utah, once they serve you with an eviction notice, it's only 3 days. You got to be out. So they, you know, thoughts and prayers for them to see how they're going to make it through. But when the veteran says that they have nobody else to turn to, where is our government? Where are they at? How come they're not helping these veterans right away? I mean, there should be a procedure, and it shouldn't be weeks to get approved. They should just say, hey, if this veteran served for, they served the country, they deserve to get our best. They deserve that. And they're out there, going to the battle lines and fighting for the country. But when they don't get the help that they need right away, and I think that President Trump and the Senate and the House, they need to pass something to help our veterans that are out there in the street and who are getting evicted from their homes, who cannot pay for things that they need. They need to do something. There shouldn't be like this thing where they have to wait for 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get approved. They shouldn't have to do that. Something went wrong. So they should be able to just go into the VA and say, "This is the situation that we have. This is what we need for us to live," especially if they're veterans and they're over the age of 60 or even 50. They should be able to say, "Hey, okay," they should streamline and have that procedure go quickly so that way they can get the help that they need. But they're treating like all the immigrants that are coming here illegally, like they're just handing them everything. Well, and I think that's why a lot of people voted for Trump, because they saw that happening. They saw that the Harris and Biden administration kept bringing over so many people from foreign countries into the United States and just giving them handouts, right? Just letting them have $2,500 right away to help with their rent, pay for their food, to get the EBT cards, everything. But it's sad to read a story and a veteran and his wife are getting evicted out of their home and they don't know who to turn to. They because even going to the VA, it still didn't help them in their situation because it's just like look at what happened with the hurricane when Kamala Harris came out and she said they'll get $750, but then they have to get online, they have to apply for it and wait for it to get approved. People who serve this country in the armed forces should not, in the military, should not have to do that. If you're going to give away billions and billions of dollars to different foreign countries around the world and overlook the people who fought to give this nation freedom, there's something clearly wrong there. There's something clearly wrong. And so this story I just read, I read about it this morning, and it's just clear and sad to see that the U.S. government rather help those that are in other countries in foreign wars and not help the people who are here that has bled and died for this country to keep it free. Where is their help? Oh, and by the way, I am wearing this 49er hat because Nick Bosa, I think it's 2 weeks ago, went on as they were interviewing him, Brock Purdy. He jumped in there with the "Make America Great Again" hat, and so I am going to be wearing this San Francisco 49er hat, uh, or any 49er stuff in tribute to Nick Bosa, uh, jumping in on NBC Live with a "Make America Great Again" hat. All right. So back to the situation that I was talking about with the government being able to help the veterans that are out there that are homeless, that are getting evicted from their home. They need to be able to do something for them right away. They should be able to go in there with their military card, explain their situation, and they should be the whoever they go to should contact whoever it needs to be to get them the funds that they need to survive, and they could do that. The U.S. government can do that. They could do that also, not just for the VA. They can also do that for people who have kids, and even adult kids, they're kids that grow up as adult who have special needs. The U.S. government can do that. And from a father of one that has special needs, I've said it before. There's we are in a line, waiting in line, and it's been 8 years since we've been waiting in line to get help from the government to help us with the things that we need to take care of our son who has autism. Okay, and so the government. So it's been 8 years since we've been in there, and the government is it goes to the state, and then the state there's some people told me that it took them 20 years waiting in line to get that help and that aid, and I just think it's like, why should we do that? Us tax-paying people that live here in the United States of America have to wait in line for those things for 8 years because it goes through bureaucracy and then it has to go through this channel and that channel. But then a guy from Ukraine comes into the United States just a month ago, and then he goes back home with $9 billion. He did not have to wait in line. All he did was fly to Washington, D.C., and he received that aid. And then they wanted to get more aid with what Kamala Harris was talking about, that the border bill that did not pass. So they They try to hide in there $80 billion to go um, to to Ukraine and also go to Iran and then and go to Israel and Afghanistan. They hid that in that border bill, and that's why it failed. And the American people are seeing right through the media right now on what they they can tell that they are being lied to every step of the way, and that's why a lot of people turn to social media, podcasting, and that's why I do it because I'm fed up and tired of listening to the media just lie about every single thing. That border bill did not pass. And the reason why it didn't pass is because of all the little sneaky little things that they put inside that bill that would not benefit the American people. It will not close the border. It will give aid to different countries that are not part of this country um, in its affairs. And they why should the American people have to do that and the American taxpayers have to do that? And myself, being an American taxpayer, see the American hard money that Americans do to go to all these other places and not helping their own. All right, so the trifecta is in. Donald Trump, with the Senate and with the help of with the House, they'll be able to pass all the bills and all the agenda that Donald Trump was trying to do his first year. He's going to be able to do that this time around. And I think that this time around, the the country is going to be a lot better. There's going to be more money in their pockets. They're going to receive. They're going to receive that happiness and that joy that the Democrat Party was talking about. You know, the joy, joy, joy over the summer that turned into anger and bitterness towards the end of the campaign, um, right before the election. They turned into angry people. That's all they turned into. All right. So here we are. It is a great time and a great thing to see that Donald Trump, the Senate and the House, has gone to the people. It's the people's voices, and they have been heard. And they are, it's just great. It's a great feeling to be able to see Donald Trump on his way back to the White House. And a lot of people financially are going to do better. And I think he's going to, if he even sees this, he's going to know that a lot of veterans are out there. They're needing help. People who have children of special needs, they're going to get that help. And I think that everybody overall is going to be happy, and I'm grateful to be able to witness that. Hey, and then this is a little shout out to one of the guys that I know. Every time I ask him, "Hey, how are you doing? You know, how are you doing?" And he says, "Ah, I'm just glad and blessed to live in America." And I think that's good. We live here in the United States of America, and we are blessed. And I think that God's will is really going to manifest itself because of he being able to preserve Donald J. Trump's life, and he's now the 47th president of the United States of America, and he will be sworn in January 20th next year, and it's going to be a really good year. And I really think that, and those of you who are investing in crypto and things like that, I think next year is going to be really good. I mean, it's good right now. Everything is going up, but I think it's going to be a lot better next year. And I think crypto is going to really skyrocket. And before I end this stream, the Jerome Powell, he was asked if he was going to step down if Trump asked him to. I think Trump needs to just. That's one of the guys that need to go also. The other people that need to go is the judges that knew and saw that the lawfare going against Donald Trump. They knew about it. They were in on it, and they tried to put this man behind bars. And it's a tragedy to see our justice system going like that. But that's what happens when you get people in there that that are doing exactly the same thing that they accuse somebody of. They were doing themselves, and that's what happened. The lawfare that happened against President Trump. I mean, everybody can see it. It's totally false. It was fake. Why? Why did they go through with this? And the reason why is because they didn't want this man back in the White House, and they're still crying about it. And for all of you that are out there that had voted for Harris and think that you're gonna get thrown in prison and democracy was gonna be wiped out if Donald Trump went into office. Well, you can see now it's Thursday night. Tomorrow is going to be Friday. Guess what? The sun is still going to shine. You're going to be able to go about your day. You don't have to cry about the election anymore. There's going to be 4 years of greatness that's going to happen. And then in 4 years, you can vote for the candidate that you feel like should deserve to win. But to call a man fascist, call a man and his supporters Nazis and Hitler, called him Hitler, and all those things that people call Donald Trump are the exact same thing that they accuse him of. They are doing, and that's everybody can see right through it. And I was just listening into a couple of people on CNN and just trying to see, and one guy was just like arguing with Scott Jennings, man. And I would love to put up stuff and so that way we can hear and react to some of the other people in the channels that people are saying on CNN and ABC. But I already had like a couple of strikes against me for copyright, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. But once I get this down pat and figure it out, the Really Toco podcast will really take off better because then we can put it up. Or I can just do like Joe Rogan and just invite people on to the show and interview them. And I got my brothers that come on here once in a while. Most of the time, I want my brothers to come on here so we can have a really good perspective and conversation about what's going on in the different places because they're in California, one is in Arizona, and want to see what they have to say. And I got a brother that drives. He's a truck driver, so he can see all the things that are happening as he's on the road. And right now, I think everybody that voted for Donald Trump feels good. I think some people that they will see and they will realize uh, in the next year, they're gonna find out that hey, you know, might as well enjoy the ride as it goes on because some of them they're going to be like, okay, inflation went down. I can afford gas now. I can afford to go to the grocery store. I can afford to pay my rent. I can afford to pay my mortgage. I can afford to go on vacations. And a lot of people is going to see that. They're going to see that. And especially with this, and I'm kind of excited about it, like the overtime, no taxes on overtime and no taxes on tips. You know, hey, a lot of people are gonna have more money to be able to buy stuff. And Thanksgiving is coming up. It's gonna be here in a couple of weeks. So there, be thankful that you be able to sit down with your family and be thankful for what's happening. And right now, everything seems calm, and hopefully it stays that way. And we don't see any more of the riots that's happened and try to tear down the country um, in the past. And hopefully it stays that way. And the other thing that the Trump administration going forward should do, and I think they should do this, is that they should really look into. Oh yeah, they they better just get the right people in right away and not take any phony phone calls from the uh, CIA or how they were set up before by like what happened when he first got into office. So, and hopefully that he can take care of business that way. And I'm really hopeful that uh, this time around that a lot of people will see the good and the good value that they saw when Donald Trump was in there in the first time. Um, I didn't see anything really good that happened with the Harris and Biden administration. I mean, everything just fell apart. That with Afghanistan withdrawal was terrible, and then they're shutting down the Keystone Pipeline was bad. It was just terrible. They should have never did that. The other thing is that what they should do is do something about the January 6th. The people that were put away from January 6th. I mean, how can you sit there and tell me that January 6th was the worst thing that happened since Pearl Harbor? That's coming from the Democrats. That's coming from uh, Cenk Uygur at the Real Young Turks. He said that, and there's some a lot of people that think that, and I have no idea how they can think that January 6th people going into it wasn't even a riot. They just escorted into the Capitol. All right. How can somebody sit there and honestly say that January 6th was worse than Pearl than 9/11? There is no way that January 6th was worse than 9/11. Tell me that. Show me something that people getting escorted around in the Capitol is worse than the 2,000 plus people that died when the towers came down in Manhattan. You cannot tell me that January 6th was the worst thing that happened since Pearl Harbor. There's no way. No way. You cannot. Oh, I got somebody here that says fascism win. How can fascism win? How is Donald Trump fascism? You tell me that. All right. How can you think that? Okay. How does fascism win? You might as well just go over to Young Turks and talk with them. But if you that's what you think, that's what you think, or that's what Thinkerly says here. All right. Okay. Fascism, Nazism, all these isms that they're trying to attach to Donald Trump and his supporters and the people that voted for him, those people didn't win because they weren't telling the truth. They were lying about it. They were trying to throw anything at Donald Trump's face and hoping that it will stick to him. But it didn't. It didn't work. So we're I am done with listening to people trying to say that Donald Trump is the new Hitler, that he's fascist, and the things that he do. I mean, Cenk, he always goes on all these shows and he tries to say all these bad things about Donald Trump, which are not true. So the real people that is going to, or the people that is going to benefit from Donald Trump being in the White House, and I truly believe this, is that the veterans, the people that served in the military, they're really going to receive the help that they need, and then in the whole country. There's the president from Poland that came here. He was on PBD's podcast. He talked about why he's here in America. He said first he was invited. He was invited here to come to America, and then from there he also said that he loves America, and the reason why he loves America because he remembers when the United States got rid of the Soviet Union and Poland was freed from communism rule. And so a lot of people won this election, not just Donald Trump, not just all his supporters, not just the United States of America, but a lot of countries around the world. And the hope and change that everybody was thinking that was going to be was going to happen for Kamala Harris, and it's a big. That's one of the biggest things that Obama talked about when he was running for office was hope and change, right? Well, a lot of people around the world was hoping that something changed, that America became the powerhouse it should be, and be that leader of the world. And it happened. It happened again. And like Donald Trump said when um, he won, when he spoke to the millions of people that were up watching all the different streams and the news outlets as he was there in Florida, and what he said was, now the people of the United States are going to get their country back. And that's it. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one. If you haven't done it already, hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you on the next one. Peace out.